Hello, Katherine. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing well too. Thank you. Thank you for your time today for this conversation.
Thank you to having me too.
Thanks. Congratulations on receiving multiple admission offers from top schools, two with scholarships. How does it feel?
I was so excited for getting them. Like the first one is like I got as UCD and I'm already so excited because I got with scholarship. And then I got UCLA and Kellogg, which is better and also UCLA is coming with more scholarship, so that makes me more excited. And the point I receive all of the results makes me feel like our contribution from last July is pretty worse. Like we do have something and it's come to a good result. So I'm so excited for it.
Of course,
And I'm really looking for the new life after. Yeah.
of course. I'm excited for you. So, can you tell our viewers something about your academic and professional background? Where are you from? Where did you go for undergrad? What do you do now?
Yeah, sure. Um, I'm a Chinese student and I grew up in Xi'an, which is a northwest city of China, before 18 years old. As I'm growing up with a family that my parents both pretty encouraged me to do what I like. So after graduate from high school, I went to the US and Temple University of Philadelphia to pursue my bachelor degree. And then after that, I went to UC Davis for my master degree. And both is major in accounting. And I need to say that the study life in America do change me a lot. It makes me more open-minded and getting used to living in a completely new environment also gives me the courage to solve the problem when I make challenge. And this makes me have more brave to pursue the things that I like. And then after graduate from Davis, I came to Hong Kong to working at PwC as an auditor. I'm majoring focus on the financial service practice, which means that my client is focused on the insurance, investing bank, and the asset wealth management. And after working for 3 years, I'm now decided to uh, start a new point of my life. So that is why I start to apply for the MBA program. And at the same time, I also a big fan for the volunteer jobs. And I participate a lot of volunteer activities in my school years and working years. And this also have a lot of influence on myself too. So basically, that is the information of myself.
Thank you. So you have very good experience in three different countries. And
Yeah.
moving to the US as an undergrad gave you international exposure at a very young age that enriched your personality, right? So you decided to apply for MBA programs with only 2 years of work experience, whereas mostly people apply after 4 or 5 years of professional experience. Can you tell us why?
Um, the main reason is that I find the new spark of my life that in the summer session of 2021, I remember I have an experience to be borrowing to the consulting department of PwC, and I was working on an acquisition case. And that time I feel like I opened a new door of the life that the team environment is pretty different than accounting and audit. That the consulting team is more activity and we we're sitting together and using the brainstorm to combine everything's and every people's idea together, and we discussion, we do calculation, and we do research to find what is the best solution for clients problem, and then we present the idea, and it makes me feel like I'm pretty energetic for it, and it is creativity because my suggestion probably really will influence the company's future. And this is a point that I wanted to transfer my job from auditing to consulting. So that is one kind of reason why I decided to apply for MBA so early. And another hand is because of my personal interests, that because I wanted to focus on the metaverse, like the data transformation area after graduating. And because this topic is pretty hot, and it's like the starting point of this topic. And I wanted to be a consultant focus on this area, and in the long run I wanted to have my own, so I wanted to start it earlier to get a position there. And I don't want it to be make it like waiting for a long time, and it has already be a lot of people there that will be much more competitive than now. So combine these two reasons together, that I think this is the reason that why I decided to apply it with like 2 years working experience.
Wonderful. Looks like you have pretty valid reasons for pursuing an MBA so early in your career. Thank you. So you have already told me about your goals. Why MBA? Can you tell us about your short-term and long-term goals in detail?
Yeah, sure. My short-term career goal that is, first of all, I wanted to be a consultant in the top consulting firm, maybe like BCG, Bain, and McKinsey. And also I wanted to focus on the digital transformation area, that I wanted to have some experience in the big company, that to learn the strategy of how to be a good consultant, and I can learn that how big companies consultant treat the problem in the data transformation area. And then after the period of time, probably 3 to 5 years, when I already have some experience, I wanted to build up my own startup that is a consulting firm, also to focus on the digital transformation, that I wanted to help more company, like maybe they are small company and they are similar as me, to make their own startup to do the transformation. And yep, so basically this is my short-term and long-term career goal. Yeah.
Thank you. Katherine, you earned a stellar GRE score of 332. Can you tell our viewers about your GRE prep strategy? What resources and methods you use to achieve such a strong GRE score?
Actually, I have 335.
I'm sorry. I correct myself.
No, but it's
335. Okay.
I think my story for prepare GRE should be a little bit different, because when I apply for master program after graduate from undergraduate years, I take GMAT. That time I don't have a pretty good score, that even I have multiple choice. My highest score is like 710. So it makes me feel like not pretty confident about this kind of exam. So when I decided to apply for MBA, I want to try with GRE because I don't want to say GMAT anymore in my life. And I think my working experience helps me a lot. And this time I feel like the rating question, cause verbal part is much more difficult for Chinese students, especially like English is not my mother language, and I do a lot of vocabulary, sorry, that is memorization. And the other part is, I think logic is pretty helpful. Like working makes my logic is kind of like becoming different than the students. I cannot see why, but that is so amazing. Like, I think that is a magic for this kind of exam. This time when I say same thing, I do feel much more easier and much more logic than before. So I think vocabulary and the more better logic helps me a lot. But
Okay.
I need to say that quantitative part GRE do difficult than GMAT. But I think for Asia students that will still be easy thing. But I just feel this one is a little bit tricky, but still doable. Yeah.
What advice you have, sorry, what advice you have for applicants who are preparing for GRE?
I will say need to start early. Like, first of all, you need to, when you decide that you wanted to apply for the top MBA, you know that you need to have a high score. So the earlier you started to prepare it, the better. Which means if one time you don't have the good score enough that you can have time to another one. But the time that I mean to prepare it start early enough is not like you make it so long. Like I study 1 hour a day and it takes me a year long. I don't think that makes sense, but maybe it's the personal thing, because my personality is like I need to make things shortly and manageable. And if like I can study to 3 to 4 hours a day, that will makes me like grow up quicker, and my memory is also fresh. And also a point I think is better to make the study period tighter is because that you will know that there's a deadline, and it will be better to push you to finish it quickly, so you will have a stress that I need to have the exam shortly, so I need to do it. If that is like 1 year, you can say I can do it tomorrow and tomorrow and no time enough.
Procrastination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I also need to have a good preparation time, but also need to have enough to have a schedule for leave enough time for the score come up. Yeah.
True. And you did a good thing by getting GRE out of your way before starting your application process.
If that makes my application process feel a little bit easier, because if the essay thing is pretty pressure, like each essay is hard to write, especially as a starting point. And
Yeah.
if I have working and essay and exam together, I will be like boom, and I'm dead.
You approached me in the first week of July, and we collaborated on your 3 schools for CBS and Haas for round one. You received interview invites from CBS and Haas, but you could not convert them. So, can you tell our viewers what went wrong?
I think the main reason is my personal reason. Like we we already prepared the essay, so they decided to offer me an interview. But like my working hours is pretty tight at that time, and I also have my business travel to Japan that time, and I wanted to separate it. First one is CBS. The CBS is like I need to make the schedule with the alumni, and our communication is like pretty weird. Like, hey, reply my email like a week after I emailed him, and he's gonna to have a travel shortly. So our interview is like setting up pretty quick. Like he emailed me and we settled like a day after. Then we did it. So
You
I
didn't
don't
get enough time. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have enough time to go through all of the questions. I remember that we do the mock interview after I already finished CBS.
Yeah.
So that is a point that I feel pretty unconfident for my CBS interview. And that also makes me kindly understand what kind of questions that that MBA interview will ask. And has one that It makes me pretty upset because I went to in person. That is the interview day and the whole day activities. And we do when I have the interview, I think it moved pretty smoothly, that every question is under control. But when I look back, like at this point, to rethinking about what I did at that interview, I will say that I didn't prepare it well. Like I can do it better. Like especially the behavior question, when they ask that you share an experience about something, the STAR methodology can be much more better. I try to follow STAR methodology when I telling the story, but practice make it better. So
Yes.
now I know how to make the stories be like make sense to the question much better than before. So I will say the main reason is my personal reason that I didn't prepare well for the interview.
Yeah, instead of flying from Hong Kong to US for the interview, for the live interview, if you had just gone for online virtual interview and after preparation, then it might have been a different result. So the key thing is prepare well for the interview, because the fact that Haas and CBS, the top B schools, invited you to interview means they like
Yeah. But it's a and also maybe because I feel like face-to-face interview is the first time, and I do wanna to get into Haas, so I feel like I'm so nervous for it, and I
Yeah,
think that also influenced the results.
exactly. Exactly. I totally agree. So
Yeah.
how did you change your strategy in round two? Sorry. You improved your interview skills. What
Um,
other changes you made in your applications in round two? Because your round two results were phenomenal.
I think that uh I know my points failure in round one is an interview question. So in round two, I do take a lot of preparation for it. That I use a feedback form that you sent me for our mock interview. That and also the other students' experience that you shared with me before, and I also read the interview recommendation that you share me for the link carefully. And uh, I think the most important point is to make everything in logic. It's not things is different. Like first round, I think it's okay to have it in my mind, and then I can speak. I can tell the story. But the true thing is, you really need to write it down. It makes sense that you write it down and you prepare it before a mirror and with a clock, and one by one, that every time when you do a timer and practice, it makes better. Cause the story is when I do the first round interview and after mock interview, when you ask me a behavioral question, I have a lot of stories coming to my mind. And I think maybe this one and that one, they're both relevant, but I don't know how to make it make sense. And in the second round interview, like when they ask me question, I'm pretty confident that this one is a story that most fit to this question.
Yeah.
And and also the point is I change because of practice by the interview, that I change from I'm so nervous for the interview to like I'm pretty confident about myself, my experience, and I know I want the MBA. I know why I'm good enough for it.
Yeah. I know you told me when we talked out after your success, you told me with each interview you kept getting better and
Yeah.
you were your best for UCLA interview.
I'm pretty confident with that. And when I do that interview, I feeling like I'm good with it and I deserve it. I don't know how your decision, but I feel I'm good enough for it. And I think
Good.
personal feeling will also influence the feeling that people interview you. Like if you pretty confident that your story will be more easy to convincing them to trust you. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're confident, you'll be able to convince them of your story.
And and the point that I wanted to add, which is different to the practice, I just have a question that I think is pretty important to prepare for interview. That is, how can you contribute to the school? You really need to show your differentiator, that how you can make the community better. That because I do for all of the interviews that I did, I think that the interviewers that they pay higher attention to this question than others, no matter you interview with the second year students,
Mhm.
alumni, or admin officer, they both care about this question. And I think this is a question that you do need to think it carefully, because it will make you stand out. Yeah.
Of course, they want to admit students who can contribute to the school, to the program, in class and outside of class.
Yeah.
So that is why they ask this question. So, so I totally agree with you. So now let's talk about recommendation letters. Who did you
Okay.
ask for your letters of recommendation? What challenges you faced with recommendation letters? How did you approach them?
Okay. So for the recommendation letter, the first one I think is my career coach, because most of the requirement of the recommendation letter is to have someone coach you directly. And after I told my career coach that I wanted to apply for the MBA program, she was pretty support with me. So she agreed with me to be my recommender. And the other one that I think is about my manager, because he is doing the part-time MBA program at Wharton. I think that we have similar experience, so I think that will be an easier thing. But the unfortunately he reject me because he went to his MBA program, like he's already the senior manager, so it's like eighth working year, and I was applied with 2 working year. So I think that I don't have enough working experience, and he will suggest me to working like 1 or 2 year more and then apply for it. But as I mentioned before, I make the decision to apply now, so I decided to change the recommender. And I also discussed this question with you, and I find another senior, but which is a little bit title lower than that senior manager, but he is also an important person in my career path so far, because he is the people who push me to do the senior in charge, and that is a significant achievement in my career path. So I think he is able to do the recommendation too. And after I talked to him, he agreed to offer me a recommendation letter.
Mhm.
This is a challenge that I face. And we also write the essay to explain that, like the senior manager
Options.
thinking and
Yeah.
change it. And another challenge is that both of my recommender, they left before I submit my second round application. I was so nervous for it before, because it didn't start for the application yet, and they all left, and I'm a little bit worried about it. But you helped me to write the explanation letter, like in the optional essay
Let's
part. Yeah, and we make the explanation, and the results is like we know that the school take it, they don't have some negative influence for me. And another challenge is that when writing the recommendation letter, that MBA program that have the specific questions to ask, which is a little bit different because I have friends apply for normal master program. It's like just a whole essay, like a paragraph to recommend these people for all perspective. But MBA recommendation letter is like you need to answer questions one by one. So when we started, when I send you the first draft, we do have the problem like the format is completely wrong, and you sent me the link like to you need to follow the suggestion to understand to answer answer every question, and also we discuss about that each question should be how many words long, and how should the strategy for each question. This also helps a lot that I work together with my recommender, and I need to thank you for offering me the format and recommendation for how to make it better. And also need to thank my recommender that they do spend a lot of time to helping me write it and make it better. Yeah.
Of course. So you received admission offers from UCLA Anderson, UC Davis, and Kellogg.
Yeah.
And UCLA and UC Davis also offered you scholarships. UCLA offered you 120K and UC Davis offered you 70K, right?
Yeah.
So you decided to go for UCLA. How is UCLA the best school for you?
The reason is because of it's pretty easy. It's because of its rank is higher than UC Davis. So I decided to go because I'm thinking that Davis is I do my master program there. It's like more a university focus more on the agriculture, and the future career is like near the Davis community, like Sacramento and a little bit San Francisco and much more San Jose. It's like a circle there. And UCLA, the opportunity will be more like LA and Irvine and LA around. I think because I wanted to be the consulting as especially for the technology, and I wanted to work at the top consulting firm. So
Mhm.
UCLA is much more easier for me to get into the top top consulting firm. So that's the reason why I select UCLA.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Kellogg is also pretty good, and I was excited when I got the offer. And I know Kellogg is also good at consulting too, but the 120,000 scholarship is
I
too much.
know. I know.
Yeah,
That's
because
true.
it's like 90% of the tuition with $0 of tuition scholarship. So I decided to take the 120,000 scholarship. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. So about essays, I'm thinking, which essay you found most challenging? You
Can I
had.
say, can I have two most challenging essays?
Mhm.
The first one must be Haas. The first essay that what is the things that you feel you're different to others? Like I don't remember the essay one's specific question, but I think I
What makes
remember
you
the
feel alive?
alive.
What
Uh,
makes you feel
yeah,
alive?
yeah, that one is pretty hard. Like
I
it's
know.
an essay that's pretty different to when I apply for the bachelor program or master program. It used to be short-term, long-term career goal, some like and a personal statement. And this one is alive. I think I don't know where to start and where to end. And there is also a 300 words limit.
Yeah.
I feel like I can read 3,000 words for this story. And I still remember that I read 2 drafts. One is for the green team, and another one is that I lose my weight. And we finally decided with the green team one. And this is the most hard point for me because I never tried with an MBA essay before, but this one is like shocked me so much. And I still remember we spent a long time on it, and we also have the Zoom meeting to discuss about these essays.
Yeah.
And after that one, I'm getting used to it, and CBS and Fuqua, they're getting better. And the second most challenge one must be GSB. Yeah, GSB's that's
What
also the
matters most to you and why?
yeah, that one is also hard. Like I don't and that is the point that I feel the 25 brainstorm question really helps.
Yeah.
Cause some story I also don't remember that I don't think it's I mean not quite not didn't remember, but I don't think it's relevant to this topic. And I never think about I should add this part into my essay. And when you write my 25 questions and when we have the Zoom meeting, that your suggestions do gives me a lot of inspiration. Like I'm started to thinking, oh, this story is relevant to this part. And also because of this access, it benefits me a lot in my round 2 application. Because in round 2 application, other schools I all applicate by myself and we're just working on GSB together. But I need to see that GSB's essay and Haas first essay. This essay helps me a lot when I answer other schools' questions.
Yeah, you told me that the Haas question and Stanford essay questions that we collaborated on helped you a lot with
Yeah.
your essays for other schools that you applied on your own. Yeah.
Even they ask different questions, but it just makes me know what I should say, and I started to getting the idea of the MBA essay, like what is the point that they may want to say. Yeah. So I know how to do it right now.
Of course. So can you talk about your contribution to PwC's Green Team? And can you tell us how you initiated and executed this environmental sustainability project?
Yeah, sure. Um, I joined the green team is because like I'm personally a person that pretty like volunteer job, and this one is about the environment sustainability. And usually we host a weekly activities or maybe the lectures. It's like we um donation to the homeless people, or maybe we discuss about the recycling of the fashion clothing, and also like we save the dolphins. Like it's about the waste drop into the sea. And the activity that influenced me most is also launched by myself as a pallet recycling program. That is because that I'm working with clients so randomly, and I read a report say that there will be ton of waste created in the office every day, and I'm started to thinking that if I can do something to make at least my working environment a little bit better. So I did a little bit research on it, like how this will help the office, and how much I need to pay, and how it can be initiated. And after I do the research, I make a report and presentation in front of my caster's partner, and with his agreement that the program started in my office, and we collaborated with the consulting firm that is focused on the NGO and especially focused on the environment sustainability. They helped us to make the recycling bins in the side of our office, and also we post the post about how to make the with classification in the office to teach people that what kind of trash need to go where. And after that launch for a time, the point that pretty surprised me is until the number is until last October, I think we collected over 1,600 kilogram office waste already. And I believe the number till now will be much more higher, but I didn't check it later. The things that encourage me to keep focused on the environment sustainability and also the volunteer job is because that the people around me, they tell me that other activities do make them started to thinking this question in their real life. And what makes me more surprised is they also pass this idea to the people around them. So this is so
Yeah.
amazing. Like when people getting together by the small point idea, I'm started thinking that maybe I can change things a little bit better more. So that is the main energetic for me to keep doing these things. And that is also why I encourage people do some volunteer job because you will meet nice people and you can see the positive side of life. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah. And we have shared your contribution to environmental sustainability in many essays.
Yeah, and that is I also use this experience to answer the contribution question,
Yeah.
like how to contribute to the community. And I think I'm not specific for the environment sustainability topic, but this kind of topic is pretty attractive to the interviewer. Like
Of course.
this is the answer that they good to listen compared to something it's not pretty true or something. Yeah.
Of course. This is the need of the hour. Saving the environment is the need of the hour. Okay. Can you talk about your other interests and hobbies?
I'm a person that pretty like to go for gym. Like I used to be go for, and I will take my lunch after, or maybe waking up a little bit early to go before work. It will make me like feel relaxing from the stress and makes me feel a little bit happy
Mhm.
and also make my mind more clear. And another kind of hobby is uh, I'm a big fan for the movie, so I like for even for now, I'm still keeping like go for the movie theater for like at least twice a week. Um, the reason is because that I think the working life is pretty, and especially the working speed in Hong Kong is pretty
Oh,
fast.
yeah.
And sometimes I feel like I'm lost in the working stress. I don't have much time to spend with myself. And watching movie in the movie theaters that 2 or 3 hours makes me feel like this is the hours that I just spend with myself. Because you will not want to see your cell phone or reply any message at this 2 or 3 hours. Um, Also, you will feel the inspiration from others' life in the movie.
Yeah.
Um, this is the this is the essay that
Yeah.
CBS question that the normal land and
Yeah.
also a lot. Yeah.
We talked about this movie in one of the essays for CBS. Yeah.
Yeah, CBS
But
third essay.
I also remember that I watched this movie only to help you with the essay, because otherwise I
Oh,
wouldn't have been able to give you the right kind of guidance that you needed. So I watched this movie before I
really?
reviewed this essay for CBS, and I
Oh,
liked it.
thank you. But do you like it?
Oh, I did.
Okay, then that's worth it. Because I don't want you to help me with my essay and you would watch a movie that you don't like. I was like, oh, I did something wrong.
I liked it.
Good to hear it.
So we have talked a lot about your application experience and your success, your interests and hobbies, everything. So in the end, would you like to provide some advice to prospective applicants,
Yeah.
especially those who are aiming to pursue MBA program with only 2 years of work experience? What advice you have?
Okay. The first one is if you don't have enough working experience, I don't think that is a short point, but that is a weakness. But you do need to have enough and strong reason, at least to persuade
Yes.
yourself that's why you wanted to apply for the MBA and why now. Because like you told me in our first meeting that MBA application process is the process to rethinking about yourself. That is also what I learned in the application process. Maybe in our first meeting, I'm not be a consulting is my idea. But at this point, I know that is what I really want to do. So at least you need to have the strong reason to persuade yourself. Then you can have the point to let others trust you. And the other suggestion for top MBA is that you do need to have enough time to prepare, have a good score. No
Right.
matter if you need to take the language testing or you ask me like to take the GRE or GMAT score. Because when you have a good essay, you are a good person and you have a good interview skill and you don't have the chance to show it. That will be pretty sad for it and you need to have the good score to make sure that people can see you.
Good.
And the third point is I think it is pretty important to find the people support you. That I think MBA program application process is pretty, I need to say painful, because it's time consuming and maybe you like, I don't hope you like me, like failure with all school in the first round. I do hope that you can have the good luck enough to get the acceptance with the first school that you apply with, but failure always come together with the application process. And I think it is pretty important to have people support you. Like when I feel pretty disappointed with my first round application and I don't want to keep going, and you encourage me and you tell me I still can do it. So I have the courage enough to keep moving. And finally, I get the good results. And I think this maybe also happen to other students. So I will suggest that to find the people support you and which can makes you to keep going even you meet something that
Yeah.
makes you really wanna to stop here. Yeah.
I remember, yeah, it was important to let you know that there was a reason why you could not convert your interviews. Your application was strong, your profile was strong. That is why the schools, the top schools, invited you to the interview. So if you did not get admission offer, the one and only reason was you could not impress in the interviews.
Oh,
And
great.
for that, you needed more preparation. You prepared more, you got more confident, you practiced more, and you were successful with the
And
schools.
your encourager still remember the email that I write you like all of my round one is that, and I was in the self-doubt that am I good enough to apply for the top MBA? Like that time is pretty painful and you encourage do makes me be brave again to apply for other schools. And yep, so we have a good result at the end. And I believe like others, if they just don't give up and they keep going, there will be a result waiting for them. And most of the time that will be a good one. Yeah.
Good. So perseverance is the key.
Yeah.
Don't give
Okay.
up. Right.
Yeah.
So, Katherine, it was wonderful talking to you. Is there anything else you wish I had asked that you want to talk about?
I wanted to talk a little bit about the school research, because I think that is also an important point,
Mhm.
important section in the application process, because it's at the starting point, and that is kind of like combined with my suggestions that you need to have a specific goal that where you wanna go. Where you wanna go post MBA. I mean, so different school have their different strengths, working area, so they have their preference, and it is pretty important to do the school research. First of all, you can find which school fits for you and which one will help you to have the better chance to get the working opportunity after graduate. Another one, this one will the research will also help you to understand the school more. That is pretty helpful in writing essay, because most school will ask why our school is pretty special for you. So do the research, reaching out to the students, and at least go through with the website carefully is pretty important, because you need to find the point. You really need to write an essay. The third reason is do a well school research will help you to have a higher chance to get the admission, I think. Because if the school they have the different area for you, then your career goal that will be not pretty much, and you lose a point of opportunity. This is kind of like from my experience at GSB, that I didn't do pretty well research for GSB, but I have a big name, and its personal reason it's pretty near to my boyfriend. So I decided to apply for it. But actually, when I do research after I didn't get the admission, I say that most of the students they apply for GSB, they already coming with consulting experience, and GSB is more prefer students they wanted to have their entrepreneurship right after graduate. So it's like my short-term career goal is their past thing. They already have the experience, and my long-term career goal should be the short-term career goal. This really didn't tie, and we spend a lot of time on GSB. It's pretty painful, it's pretty time consuming, but if we can switch that to another school, that would be much more better. Maybe I can get one more offer. And so I think it's pretty important to make sure that the school you applied is matched with your career goal.
But GSPs essay what matters most to you, help you with your personal stories that you used for other essays, especially
Okay.
Kellogg's value essay that helped
Uh,
you with that.
I agree with that. Essay is pretty helpful, but if I have if
But
for I don't regret for I apply for GSB, because that essay is important for me. Without that essay, I'm not able to do other 4 schools in the second round.
that's,
But if it's a suggestion for other students, I will say do your school research much more careful than like a big name I wanted to get in. Yeah, that is not okay.
that's absolutely true. Yeah. Katherine, thank you so much for your time, sharing your application experience and your advice for the prospective students. I'm sure they will benefit immensely from it. And it was a pleasure assisting you with your applications. We have been in touch since July last year.
Yeah,
And now you are moving to California, to LA, which is so close to Phoenix. We hope to see each other sometime.
yeah.
Luck with your
And
time at UCLA and a continued success in your career.
thank you. And it is also pretty lucky for me that to do the essay research and say your blog. and write the email to reaching out to you and to working together with you. When I stand like at this point to looking back for the past year's experience, I want to say pretty thank you to helping me and stay with me and encourage me in my application process. That I feel for sure I will stop at the first round failure if I don't have you. Yeah. So I wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure that I will come to visit you that when in the winter or summer break that we can meet there. Yeah.
Sure. I would love to meet with you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.